offers an English degree program and about 50%, so one of the oldest rated in Europe, being able to work anywhere in Europe. Chances to pass each exam, direct entry after high school, and right now I'm specializing in... Hello, my name is Brooke Dunlap, and I'm a fourth-year student from Canada at the Faculty of Pharmacy in Hradec. When I was in high school in Canada, I started working at a community pharmacy part-time, and after graduation, I decided I wanted to become a pharmacist in the future. Charles University offered an English degree program and offered me the chance to work and study at the same time. I had never been to the Czech Republic before registering for classes, but I really love the country and I definitely want to stay in Europe after graduation. I enjoy having a new opportunity and seeing more of the world. I was accepted into the local university directly after high school, however I took a year off to work full-time. I found Charles University had a shorter program, 5 years direct entry rather than 2 years of general study plus another 4 years for the pharmacy program. Tuition at Charles is also much lower than in Canada, about 50%, and living expenses are also much lower in the city of Hradec. The university is also one of the oldest and top rated in Europe, and to me the biggest benefit of the degree is being able to work anywhere in Europe, leaving me many more career opportunities and choices after I graduate. Even though it's not directly related to the study program, one of the biggest advantages for me is getting to study outside of Canada and meeting new people and being in a new environment that I wouldn't normally get. I also really enjoy that nearly all of our classes and every department has its own specialized lab equipment and a variety of equipment that we get to use. And I like that there's an overlap between the different classes so you can use the same piece of equipment or the same process multiple times in different contexts to really understand how something works. The quality of the classes is very high, and the professors have more time with each student, and they're very approachable and easy to ask for help. Right now, I'm specializing in pharmaceutical technology, and we have lectures from pharmaceutical companies explaining drug development, drug production, and at the end of this year, we will get the chance to go and visit a large-scale production facility, which I'm really looking forward to. There are also many other options for specialization, depending on your level of interest. You could specialize in hospital pharmacy if you want to pursue industry, if you want to go into research. One con, though, is living away from my family, and the university is very demanding. However, I do think first year is the hardest year, and it gets easier once you find the rhythm of university life. There's also a large expat community here, and the medical faculty has an English program as well, so there's many other people, not just your fellow pharmacy students, to meet. I think it's very difficult and you have to be dedicated, but if you're aiming to be a pharmacist, yes, absolutely. So far, the most difficult aspect of my studies has been my visa and my paperwork. The embassy works very slowly, and it's difficult to know all the different rules for the applications, and it's very easy to make mistakes that will get your visa rejected. I had to terminate my studies first year due to a visa issue causing me to miss exams. Exams are very difficult, however, we do have 3 chances to pass each exam during a 6-week period at the end of each semester, so multiple chances for every exam really helps us. The best tips I can offer new students would be in regards to the living situation. School is much easier when you aren't worried about other things. The university offers dormitories to students, and I recommend starting your first year in the dormitories even if you would like your own apartment. It makes the visa process quicker, and it's much better to find an apartment once you're already in the city. Definitely get in contact with the foreign and student agencies. They're extremely helpful when it comes to visas, apartments, any sort of legal process. They make life so much easier. They also offer other services that are a huge help, especially for students living away from home for the first time, like laundry or cleaning services. In regards to school, I think starting early on classes is the best way to succeed. Students mostly have problems by leaving exams too late and then running out of time. Many classes have weekly credit tests or lab tests, and it's important to keep up on these because it takes a lot of work off your plate when the exam period comes. And going to classes regularly is a huge advantage because you can ask professors about topics during the lectures, and they like to see that you're a hard worker who takes the course seriously. And if you show up to all your classes, they're much more willing to offer consultation and extra help outside of class hours. I really recommend spending a lot of your time on biology and chemistry, especially given the huge amount of biology and chemistry classes in the first year. I think a strong foundation in math is also very helpful. It saves a lot of time in the long run. You do take a math class, but many of our chemistry classes are also based off mathematics. Most students in the first year struggle with organic chemistry and cell biology. It is almost always one of these two classes that's the reason for retaking a class or dropping out. Even just learning the nomenclature rules of organic molecules before starting organic chemistry would be a huge help. First year is absolutely the hardest year with the most difficult classes. Time management and knowing your priorities is the best defense against failure. Organic chemistry, cell biology, general chemistry, these are the most important classes as they're a prerequisite for nearly everything you'll take in the following semesters. They're really foundational to your study. All of the Koreans that I know are very hard workers and take their studies very seriously, and I know the professors really enjoy having them in class, because they aren't prepared for the work that it takes. Pharmacy is not an easy degree and there's no shortcut. There's no way to bypass exams. Exams also have a very high passing threshold, between 60% and 90% depending on the class. A lot of students, especially in first year, don't understand where to spend their time, and they end up passing only smaller, easier classes that are worth a few credits and not putting enough time into the larger, more difficult classes. They try to leave the largest exams latest to have more time. They end up running out of time and they don't have enough credits to advance, or they don't have a prerequisite for another class that they need. Classes and exams are not the hardest part of the university. It's making sure that you have all the credits and the proper prerequisites done on time to advance to the next section of study. There are no exceptions from the student office if you don't have the proper number of credits, or if you're missing a prerequisite. In personal experience, I don't think it's common for someone to fail an exam after all 3 attempts, especially if they put in the time and effort. But normally, the student office is very strict, and if you miss an exam, they won't help you. It's up to you to finish your classes on time. Pharmacy in Canada takes much longer than in the Czech Republic. It's minimum 6 years and it's very expensive. Most people never get into the pharmacy program after the 2 years of general study. For here, it's a direct entry after high school and it only takes 5 years. You don't need to worry about applying to multiple programs throughout your study. Tuition is half the cost, and we also aren't expected to have other expenses like student newspaper fees or buying expensive textbooks or lab materials. Charles is also a highly regarded university across Europe, and the qualifications are valid for the whole of Europe, which to me is a huge advantage. The expectations for the classes are very high, however we do have 3 attempts at every exam, which we don't have in Canada, and the teachers are very willing to go over exams with you if you do fail, and they'll explain your mistakes and explain the concepts you don't understand and where to improve. Due to visa issues from the Czech embassy in Canada, I was forced to travel back to Canada and wait there for my visa to be issued, and this caused me to miss many exams and not be able to obtain enough credit points, so I had to re-enroll in my first year. As of now, my plan is to work in Germany after graduation. However, I am planning on getting my Canadian qualifications as soon as I finish my Czech state examination at the end of 5th year, and taking my first licensing exam in November and not waiting between my exams. I worked with many foreign pharmacists in Canada, and they all told me that the easiest way to do the exam is to do it immediately after you graduate and not wait. I'm open to any pharmacy job because I'm a fresh graduate and I want to try some different things. I'm specializing in pharmaceutical technology, so job and industry is something I am interested in. I think it would be exciting and I would at least like to see how it works. I worked in a community pharmacy in Canada, and I would also like to go back to that someday, not right away, and work directly with patients. To work in Canada, you must first write 2 exams to ensure you have the same level of knowledge as a Canadian graduate. This process usually takes between 1 and 2 years, depending on when you choose to take the exams. Most people work as a pharmaceutical technician or a pharmaceutical assistant before taking the exams and in between the 2 exams. The first exam is a written general knowledge exam, and the second exam tests knowledge in clinical practice in various situations. For example, a patient will ask about dosing, or a doctor will prescribe a contraindicated medication, and you have to decide what the best course of action is or what advice you would give to this person. Pharmacy is a very well-respected job in Canada, especially for those working in clinical or hospital settings. It's a very high-paying and stable job with many opportunities for different careers and lifestyles. Unlike doctors or nurses, it is easy to avoid night shifts and weekend work. Many community pharmacies offer weekday positions.